Simply BSI or simply budget save and invest, back again with another video. As always, going to do a weekly update, portfolio update, kind of go over again my strategy as we continue into the year and approach, or I guess begin quarter two, approach the summer, and go over the option contracts that expired to account for $153.40 I generated of option income. So again, as always, going to start in the individual brokerage account. We can see just year to date, I am down about 8% for the value of $5,406. But we can see here my account high or all-time value is around 75,000, I believe, or 78,000. Again, I'm holding all these positions here. You can see to the right of the screen, Amazon, Hood, IBIT, ETHA, Sound. Each of those positions I'm going to hold until I'm back into my cost basis. So the cash I have in my account right now has been cash I've been generating from option incomes, but also contributions to the account. I actually Uber on the side part-time, and I have my Uber account directly linked to my brokerage account, so all my Uber earnings go straight to the account here, as well as I have a portion of my for my actual job, a portion of my paychecks going into my brokerage account. So right now, just real quick with my strategy moving forward, it's going to be focusing on contributions and not necessarily weekly, or rather generating income from weekly puts or calls. So you're going to see the amount I'm generating on a weekly basis reduced dramatically from what I was getting before at the beginning of this year, around $500 to $800 to around like $100 to $150 moving forward. So again, just because I'm going to be focusing on generating income, my apologies, I'm going to be focused on contributing to the account while the market's kind of moving sideways and super volatile. And again, primarily because I want to wait to really be aggressive until these positions are back around their cost basis. I just don't want to dig myself in too big of a hole. Again, I'm really overexposed to crypto in the sense of I'm holding Robinhood stock, the Bitcoin ETF, and the Ethereum ETF. And we'll see in my other account, I'm also holding 300 shares of ETHA and 100 shares of BMNR. So and 200 shares of Robinhood. So I'm extremely overexposed to cryptocurrency right now. Again, Robinhood, the price of Robinhood has been tightly correlated to the price of Bitcoin, and as Bitcoin's been coming down, so has Robinhood. But you can see here, I'm down in all these positions. Currently, I have all my covered calls for these positions, minus ETHA, expiring June 18th. And essentially my plan from now until June 18th is just to be focusing on contributions. So I'll be working as much as possible, Ubering on the side as much as possible to just add as much cash as possible to prepare for the next dip or buying opportunity I think is coming pretty soon. So again, I have all these that expire. These strike prices are all above my cost basis. I do have 200 shares of IBIT, so 100 of those shares has a cost basis of around like $46. So I just sold one covered call at that cost basis. And between all of these here, I should receive about like $500, not much, but something I'm not gonna add to the option income calculator until I'm a few weeks out from expiration, just 'cause I don't want it to mess up. Again, just the way I've been tracking it is essentially the videos I've been doing have just been capturing the income for options contracts that expired that particular week. So I'm going to wait until these expire this week to kind of go over these or count it as income, essentially, even though I have already received the cash from selling the puts. And right now we could see I do have buying power of $111,413, of which $23,634 is my actual cash, so my cash position, and $87,779 is my margin total. So I'm just again sitting on cash. I'm really trying to save up to around $30,000. My plan there is to sell cash secured puts on either I have enough cash right now to sell cash secured puts on NVIDIA. I did miss the bottom of NVIDIA. I wanted to sell around like 165, but I was waiting for it to come down a little bit more, and instead the market kind of rallied. You can see my portfolio actually correlates with the market rally as well. So Thursday morning, it recovered a bit, and then just kind of traded sideways the rest of the day. That's pretty much how all the charts for every stock looked, at least in the Max 7. That's in my watch list. So again, my plan moving forward, just focus on contributions and probably not going to trade as much. So again, moving forward, you'll see a lot less option income generated. And let's go over my traditional account really quick. The Roth IRA, I've been ignoring. I have bought a few shares of this BFGFF. It's a big mining corporation. It's a copper play essentially. I thought it would be a nice hedge, and maybe it'd be like a rising tide raises all ships kind of situation where as people are trying to, I guess, play inflation hedges or whatever else, and you get into commodities, the gold, silver, copper, maybe the smaller copper companies would benefit from that as well. So something I just figured I'd take the risk on. It's a few cents, so it didn't really cost me much to get 1,000 shares of that there. And rollover IRA, I did the same thing. You can see here about 4,000 shares of that BFGFF at around 65, or rather 6 cents, 6.5 cents. So that's a position I'm holding as well. And again, as always, or rather, as you know, I'm holding SLV in this here. I'm going to be selling covered calls against, again, above my cost basis. I have Robinhood, 200 shares. I have a covered call expiring in December, just have one. And then I have 100 shares that isn't being utilized as collateral. So again, between now and then, if Robinhood does rise above $120 a share, I could sell the 100 shares that I'm not using as collateral. Otherwise, I'll just be collecting the premium income from. And actually, disregard. I actually did sell 2 shares. I did sell 2 contracts. So disregard. Rather, all 200 shares are being utilized as collateral right now. So no free shares right there. I have ETHA. Part of the option income, or a large portion of the option income I earned this week, was from covered calls I sold against Ethereum, or the ETHA ETF rather. So that'll probably be the bulk of my premium income, selling covered calls against ETHA, because I have a pretty good cost basis in those 300 shares, $14.35, as well as the 100 shares of SLV I'm holding. So those two positions will account for the majority of the option income I'm going to be generating over the next few months. So I'm not going to be really trading in my individual account. I'm going to keep it to my brokerage, my traditional IRA here. Again, while I do kind of just wait for these positions to recover and get kind of returned back closer to my cost basis here. So going over the particular positions that account for this week's income. Again, so this is going to be week ending April 3rd, although April 3rd was a holiday, so really technically April 2nd. I did actually sell a middle of the week covered call on SLV that got assigned. This was in my individual brokerage account, so I no longer hold shares of SLV. Last week I went over that I got assigned on an SLV cash secured put at $65. I turned around and sold a covered call on that. So we can see I earned $46.96 from that. And in the traditional account, as I mentioned, the covered calls on SLV and ETHA will account for the majority of the option income I'm generating there. So we can see here it's going to be these 3 rows that account for this week's option income. So I sold 1 ETHA covered call. I got $24 for that. An SLV covered call that I got $8 for, and then another SLV covered call that I got $75 for. So that's about $107 there roughly. So again, decent option income premium for the amount of shares I had to put up for collateral, especially considering how down I am in my portfolios right now. So again, thank you guys for checking in. Like, comment, subscribe. It's not financial advice, all the good things. But again, at this time, really not much I can do besides sit on my hands until Robinhood, IBIT, ETHA recover in price. Until then, just going to focus on making contributions, so I have some more cash to play with. But As always, thank you for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your weekends.